It's daily clap clap. It's daily clap clap. It's daily grind clap 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 clap. Welcome back to the daily grind. That was me clapping, not actual clapping. If you couldn't tell, listening, because I didn't want to. It was right on the mic. It would have been awful. It would have been like ga 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 ga. But
Yeah.
welcome back to the daily grind. It is Tuesday, and normally this week's a little weird. Normally we have my good Uncle Buck on Mondays, but instead we said, screw that. We're gonna get him on Tuesdays this week. How does
Yeah.
it
You
feel?
flipped
How
me
are
and
you on
Rusty.
Tuesdays? I know. Are you good on Tuesdays? I don't normally talk to you on Tuesdays.
Hey, I mean, there's no difference, really. I mean, that's just how it started. So that's the way we do it. You know,
That's
are
great.
most things the way that they are. That just
Yeah.
happen that way.
The way I see it, it's like Monday through Friday after 12 are the same. They're all interchangeable. And
And I,
then
I know you won't
Friday after,
say it.
oh God.
I know you won't say it, but who in the world wants to start their Monday mornings off with Rusty? Come on.
Moving on. Moving on. We are here to talk about the conference championships. Pew, 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 pew. We're gonna do that noise every time I say championships today. Not true. That's gonna be hard to do. But we are almost, I mean, we are in the home stretch of things right now. We are almost to the kit and caboodle, the NBA finals. We're really, really close. Kind of glad we
Yeah.
got seven game series out of this. One of the conference championships will start tonight. It is the Eastern Conference Championships, which will be I would say, the most picked team in all the Eastern Conference, Boston Celtics, versus probably one of the fewer
Yeah.
picked teams. I don't think
The
I
last.
had I had the Pacers dead on arrival. I really did have the Knicks winning this one. I didn't see any way in hell the Pacers were going to win 2 in a row, let alone go into Madison Square Garden and win Game 7. Even if
Yeah.
Tibbs is trotting out like the operation guy. But
Right.
this Pacers team, I'm much more excited about this than I initially was expecting, this Boston Pacers series. How about yourself?
Well, I mean, it's not sexy. Don't get me wrong. Like this is not
Ew.
ESPN is pissed, that they're not getting New York Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals.
They're probably so mad.
And Indiana, I mean, if you're an Indiana fan, it's you against the world, and that's such a fun place to be. Like nobody wants us here. Nobody believes in us. I mean, I didn't believe in them. If you would have just looked at the 8 teams that were in the playoff in the Eastern Conference and ranked them by most likely to be in the Eastern Conference Finals and least likely, they'd be down there with Orlando, Cleveland, and Indiana. I mean, the 8
I would have
seed
had
Miami,
Orlando higher. I mean, like, I just didn't see. I wasn't inspired by much I saw from them.
well, even the 8 seed Miami has been to the Eastern Conference Finals as an 8 seed in the past, so they're above them. And so, that's just not I just didn't believe in them. They ended the season much worse than they started the season. Props to them. They went into Madison Square Garden and beat up the New York Knicks in a Game 7, and it was kind of a theme. Minnesota did the same thing. It was impressive.
Man. Yeah, yes. Well, and this Pacers team too, it's coming from spots that I wasn't expecting. Like Halliburton was good Lord, Halliburton had been almost non-existent through a lot of that Knicks series. But guys like McConnell off the bench, like guys like him, I read something, or it might have been on a pod.
One of us.
He said he was out to be, he said every team has the white guy. I want to be the only white boy. And I was like, get it, man. Get it. Is he the best one left?
Peyton Pritchard.
No.
DiVincenzo's out, so
yeah, Dante was holding the torch. He's out.
I mean, you got Luka, but he's not American.
No,
so.
it doesn't count. We don't need nobody on the T-Wolves. Yeah. Get it, McConnell.
Get it. We're all Pacers today.
I'm going to get everybody McConnell's jerseys.
Pasty Pacers.
Pasty Pacers. Oh, it's bad. Look at that. Pasty Pacers. Pasty Pacers in 7. Let's talk on the flip side of that, though. If the Pasty Pacers beat the Celtics, that's, legendary
proportions.
Like, I'm not one of those dudes that's going to put an asterisk by anybody's championship. It's damn hard to do in any sport. But if they get a Giannis-less, Embiid-less East, like if they're able to get all this stuff kind of fall their way and get beat by the Indiana Pacers in the final or in the champion to advance to the finals, what do you do?
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody thought that they had a pretty easy path to the NBA Finals anyways. They were the heavy betting favorites just to make the finals from either conference. And they go up, and this is part of perks of being a higher seed. So I don't want to knock them for being the 1 seed, but you go play Miami, who lost Jimmy Butler, and then win in 5. And then you go to Cleveland and play Cleveland, win in 5 when Donovan Mitchell goes down. And now
it might be the biggest mess
Indiana
ever. Like we found out hours after that game that Cleveland was the biggest mess ever. Like
right. Oh yeah, for real. And then you get Indiana instead of New York. And so, I mean, it's quite possibly the easiest path to the Eastern Conference Finals. But if we've learned anything from this Boston team, is that they're willing to take a game or two off.
Yeah.
You know, they've won both series in 5, and in 1 game in Boston per series, they just laid down and took the loss. I mean, they were just cool with it.
Twice.
So, I think Indiana puts a lot more pressure on it. I was impressive with Indiana defensively. I mean, they were awful on defense all regular season. And to go to Madison Square Garden in a Game 7 and just bottle them up and
still put up 130. They're impressive on both fronts because this series against New York, they were able to keep up their pace, but also, like you said, bottle them up. I didn't think I thought it was going to be, I saw these games as 130. If they were going to play their pace, it was going to be 130, 128. I didn't see them keeping the Knickerbockers right around 100 points. It's crazy.
That's why props to Indiana. I thought they had no chance of winning this series, especially after going 0-2 and losing heartbreakers in games 1 and 2 in New York. And so they bowed up and the Knicks just fell apart. And that's characteristic of a Tibbs team. You know, he's going to play 6 guys 47 minutes a game. I saw at one point during this season, Josh Hart was averaging more than like 49 minutes a game because 1 game went into overtime and he played all 5 minutes. It just
once he got hurt, it just felt kind of like symbolically, it was like, they're done. Yeah, I just didn't.
And you know, those muscle injuries are so much more likely when you're fatigued, and they just ran to the ground. You lost OG Anunoby in the first round. You lost Josh Hart in a critical Game 6.
Yep.
I mean,
I think Isaiah Hartenstein got hurt too, and they just didn't say anything because he was a non-factor.
And then after it was, done, the game was over. Brunson breaks his hand. And so just to stick you one more time with a knife.
And I don't get it because Alex Burks is sitting there. I don't mean to dwell on this game, but this series really confused me. Alex Burks is sitting there giving you 26 points off the bench routinely. I got you telling me you can't play him? You can't give some of these guys rest?
He was good. He was good in Game 7. Without him, they would have gotten beat by 40.
Yeah, I don't know. The Tibbs conversation is a conversation for another day. Good on the Pacers. If it's between toughness between these two teams, I don't think this Boston team is. I like Derek White. They got some tough dudes on the team, but if they don't get Kristaps Porzingis back, they're going to be in trouble.
Listen, if Boston wants to, they can sweep them. They've just got the horses. And that's going to be what's fascinating about this series. It's just, do you want to? Joe Mazzulla needs to make this Boston needs to win this series emphatically, or they're going to. The media is going to try to put an asterisk on this. Like they're just going to.
Yep.
If you don't beat them emphatically.
That's a good point. I mean, it's a lose-lose for the Celtics. If they don't sweep them, they're going to hear about it. They're going to hear about it until they win a championship.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah. Well, enough about them. When we get back, we're going to take one break. I want to talk about the oomphy, that's the noise we're doing. the championship, because I'm after what the T-Wolves did, and I am so pumped. I think whoever wins this is going to win the championship. Spoiler alert, but we will talk more about that right after this quick break.
Not just the level of individual talent that he plays with, but it's also the level of his mind. We haven't gotten cross-court open shot this year. We haven't seen that pass a lot. Number one, you got to respect him going to the basket. There's a roller. I got to watch the roller. He has the mind to be able to say, I see all of that, but now I see this guy over here. I'm going to get him this open shot. How shifty he is to always be going forward. It's usually side to side.
Yeah.
His dribble moves are side to side, but going forward.
Right.
Which is very hard to defend. I just want to get you, as many times can I get you to do this? But for him, it's not here. It is here, which is are his moves to get down the floor. It's awkward for a defender to try to catch a cadence. You dribble. So now what I do is now when you go put that ball down, I'm going for it. But with him, it's hard for my cadence. But what's my cadence for you? I don't know what it is.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Who do you need to step it up? Outside of David Jones, I think David Jones is David Jones.
I don't think you need him to step it up because he's been performing.
Yeah, like he's David Jones. Like outside of him, he's fine.
I think Quinterly needs to play better.
In what way? Like, I mean, he's facilitating the ball well. I mean, what do you, like, I don't...
To a 12 from the field's not cutting it.
It's not great. It's not great.
And I don't need a runner 3 from the top of the key with 3.5 seconds left.
Is Virginia the game where Jordan Brown is going to cook? Those dudes aren't looking to run the ball.
Cook what? Dude, I thought he was going to have a freaking night. He came out with that fresh cut, lined up. And then literally within the first 15 seconds, missed a wide open layup. And then picked up 2 fouls right away.
I feel real lied to because I thought we were getting a 20 and 10 guy.
Didn't think it did anything for you.
Well, I think
we all thought we were getting a 20 and 10 guy. And we are getting that in David Jones.
I'm not even getting 20 or 10 minutes out of the guy.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm going to keep that one simple. 3 weird tones. And welcome back to the Daily Grind. You can catch that show as well as the $2 Sports Show, as well as Night Court. It's a new one. As well as the Grizz 901 at 901 show. All of that over at bluffcitymedia.co. Leave that M at the door, folks. We don't need that M. Leave that M at home. I don't know what happens if you put that M on. Don't try it. Anyway, back to the show. Western Conference Championship. This series is what I'm excited for this series because I think it shows organizational competence for the most part from top to bottom, and that makes me pretty excited. You have a team in the Mavericks that utilizes the trade deadline in a way that I think you're supposed to. That isn't it. They're like, oh, hell, we messed this Grant Williams thing up. Get him out of here. Get Gafford, get PJ Washington in here. And that is the reason they are in the championship or in the Western Conference final. And then you have the Timberwolves who were built to beat the reigning champ. And they did. And I'm so excited for this series. I love the Timberwolves. As much as I can say that about another team, I really I love Ants. I love Mike Conley. I love Slow-Mo. I don't like Rudy Gobert. I'm not a big fan of them. And even, man, like, it's so difficult with Cat, dude, because he cracks me up in his post-game stuff. I think the dude's funny when he's like, shit, how much you want us to lose? We've been losing for 20 years. It's like, he's funny. But then you see him have an off-ball foul 30 feet from the basket. It's like, bro, get that out of here. What are you doing?
He's the ultimate front runner. Like he is the person you want to be around when you're winning. But he is the ultimate loser if you're losing. Yeah, man. Because good God, it's in that game 7. It's like, bro, you can't be fouling Jokic that far away from the basket when Gobert's fouling out. Oh, I got so frustrated. Right. But they won. But like, Thank God for Naz Reid. Thank God for Naz Reid, man. And I'm a big Naz Reid fan. I don't think – I mean, clearly the Gobert trade, I guess,
Is it good now? Is
That's
the Gobert
one
trade?
thing I was going. You brought up the trade deadline moves, and that's something I wanted to say. Both of these teams have to feel, their front offices have to feel justified for big moves that they made that were controversial at the time. Kyrie tanked that team last year after they traded him to Dallas, after Dallas traded for him. It just didn't work out. They missed the playoff. They missed the play-in, and everybody was wondering what they were doing.
Yeah.
And, did you just inject cancer into your body? And Kyrie's been amazing this year. He's kept his nose clean. He's been out of all controversial stories, and he's just played basketball, and he's been great, and he's been great paired to Luka. They added P.J. Washington to that. Gafford had a terrible series against Oklahoma City, but it just worked out. And then to trade and then give that contract to Rudy Gobert was very controversial. A person who was seen as empty stats, a defensive player of the year person that could get played off the floor. It's kind of always been the reason why I've hated Gobert, is because I felt like he was shoved down our throat. Like, he's the greatest defender ever. However, in the playoffs, you can't even put him on the floor because he can't guard in space. He can't guard in a pick and roll. But it's worked out. And if you make the Western Conference Finals, then the trade worked. That's just the rule. Like, you can say, yes, we did the right thing. We made the Western Conference Finals.
And you beat the defending champions to do it.
Like a lot of people, Conley's story is being talked about a lot, but almost not enough. Like, I want to see like a 30 for 30 on him now. Like, he is a big story to build the Nuggets and then build the team to beat the Nuggets.
And to do so with moves that were widely mocked. I would say that the Gobert trade was widely mocked when it happened. I would say giving Naz Reid all that money was widely mocked when you had all that money already in Gobert and Cat.
Right.
Like these were moves that people were like, what are you doing, bro? And then it's like, turns out you were building a roster to beat the Nuggets.
Right.
Who do you think wins the series?
That's a good question, because what I said going into the Oklahoma City series was that the winner of the Oklahoma City Dallas would be the only team that could beat the Nuggets. Sorry, I just went extremely cloudy there. Even worried about my well-being. I thought that Dallas was the only team that stood a chance against the winner of Denver, Minnesota. That's what I was trying to say. And so I think it's going to be a good series. I don't know what the Vegas odds are, but I think it's going to be a really tight series. I think like popular opinion is that Minnesota is going to run the table. And I don't think that's the case. I think there's at least half the games, it's possible that Luka is the best player on the court. And when you get to an Eastern Conference Finals, you want the best guy on the court. It's very much takeover time. And so it's going to be tricky. Minnesota's going to have to beat the Serbs, going to have to beat Jokic, and then he's going to have to beat Luka.
It's pretty wild. They got to go through both of them, man. Well, I tell you, we are in the middle of we are amidst an Ant-Man moment, or it might be Luka's moment finally. But, Denver, they lost in that series. In the last two games, I wouldn't say that Ant had great games. He cooled off a little bit as that series went on. And for me, I just think but then the same could be said for Luka. Like, I feel like we still haven't even gotten the Luka series, the Ant series. And I think it's like you said, whichever one of those takes over this, that's going to be who wins. That's your winner. The best player on the floor. Is it going to be Luka? Is it going to be Ant-Man?
And that's the thing that was most impressive about Minnesota to me, was in a Game 7 in Denver, altitude, everything else that always comes playing in Denver. Ant was terrible, and he was still overcame fourth best guy point deficit.
Yep.
They're not a young team. Oklahoma City is young.
Yes.
This Minnesota team is not young. Their best player is young.
That's
but
it.
Cat, Gobert, Mike Conley steering the ship. All these guys.
Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah, they've all been there, done that. Mike's played in a Western Conference Finals. You know, Gobert has played in a Western Conference Finals. You know, he watched most of it from the bench, but he was there.
Yeah.
And so I think this is a fascinating matchup. I don't know who I'm rooting for, to be honest with you. I'm always, I guess, just going to default to rooting for Mike Conley. Like
I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say the exact same thing.
I think that if there's a way to pick up Zebo on like a rest of season contract, postseason contract, let's just go ahead and put all of our chips in that direction and try to get both of them a ring. Get all the core, so the whole core four will have a ring.
Wait. That's a great idea. Can you still pick somebody up on a rest of season contract when it's the Western Conference Finals?
Western Conference Finals. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, if that was a thing, I would do that. You know what's better than 3 bigs? 4, right? I think that's what they say. I mean,
he could play the same role that James Johnson was playing for the Pacers. You know, just enforcer. You know, show up if things get a little chippy.
Throw a couple elbows, putting bloody some nose, and we'll call it a day. We're going to take one more break, and I'm excited for this part with you. We never get to tube.
Yeah.
Me and Rusty tube all the time, but after this, we're going to talk about tubing Tuesdays right after this break.
I'm just big on being able to vocalize what someone's role is. I always thought my best coaches were the people that let me know exactly what you expect from me. Now, I might not like it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But if you come to me man to man to say, this is how we think we're gonna play you, bang, 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 and hopefully everybody understand. I'm not saying that this has not been done with this team. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying from my experience, we all have egos when we get to this game.
Right.
All of us, to the last person on the bench, you got an ego, but all of us can't be the man.
Yeah.
You got to be able to say, okay, he's the man, but what do I do and what can I do to help us be good? And if it's vocalized to you, then you know exactly and if I'm out there doing it and now I'm not getting the result from you, now we got to sit down and have another conversation. Mm-hmm. But as long as it is told to you, this is what we expect from you, this is how we want you to play, then I feel like, again, keeping his logo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show, Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. All right, Christian.
Yes.
You are Penny Hardaway.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Today, you're going to play act, okay? Gabe, because you're a Jordan Brown apologist, you're going to be Jordan Brown.
I'm a Jordan Brown apologist. Okay.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Y'all are sitting across the room from each other.
I said, don't tweet him hate. And he's like, you're an apologist. Like, good God. But either way, continue. We're in a room together.
Why did things break down?
Jordan, we brought you in this year to be the centerpiece of our offense. You came in out of shape. Let's call it what it is. Call a spade a spade. We play fast. Told you this when we were recruiting you. We play fast. One of the fastest paces in the country. You have to be able to get up and down the floor. You have failed at that.
Oh, well, I'm leaving. So it's fine. Cool.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back. Welcome back to this third and final daily grind segment on Tuesdays. So, Uncle Buck, you have been here with us on Tuesdays, but it's been a while. On Tuesdays, we tube. And that's where we talk about what we are watching, what we have watched, what we are planning on watching, what you are liking, what you're not liking. If you're not watching anything, we can talk about how you spend your spare times in cabins in the woods, just staring at walls. I got plenty of friends that do that, bro. It's cool. I will go first. What I am watching is a little, I'll give you a hint. It's sorry, that was bad. I'm watching the new X-Men 97 animated show.
Oh, okay. All right.
I love the old one. Loved it. Big X-Men comic book guy. And let me tell you, so far, they are picking the most obscure, probably arguably bad storylines and doing it is a weird show and I really like it, but it's definitely, I wouldn't say as, I feel like the old 90s when people loved, they just liked it a lot, but this one's like that but weirder. So if you like that, check it out.
I'm a big Marvel guy. I was not a comic books guy. I'm the guy the comics books guy hates and resents because I just got in on the movies, but I got real big into them, and I've watched a lot of the series on Disney Plus, and I just think as a whole most of them stink. They've really
Loki's
fallen
good.
off the cliff here. Loki's good, and so no, I have not watched the X-Men series. I've not even watched all the X-Men, like the Hugh Jackman X-Men. I haven't even watched all of them.
There's a lot.
There's a lot, and that's the reason why I haven't watched them. It's just daunting, to look at that and just be like, I'm going to watch all of them.
Like what sounds like fun? Watching all these.
Yeah. I have been kind of going back through Breaking Bad. You're kind of in a season, got a lot of in a season here of the year where there's just not a lot of new stuff that comes out.
Yeah.
So I just kind of
it's about to come out. All the new stuff's coming out in like August.
Right. So
where are you at rewatching it?
The last episode I watched, they just blew up the nursing home. Gus Fring.
Jesus.
And
where he the man.
Yeah. It falls over. Did the whole Two-Face, the Two-Face reveal.
I won.
Yeah. It's a great show. It's a show that you almost feel bad watching. And I've watched two shows like that where you almost feel dirty, and it's
rooting for
that
him.
one and Dexter. Like I just always forgot about Dexter. And so that's what I'm going through now. I have to say a guilty pleasure, just to add this on the end, that'll probably lose me a lot of respect. A guilty pleasure that I've had, and it's been my family's kind of go-to Wednesday night thing, and I've kind of taken it and put it on my own family now, is Survivor.
Oh, dude, Survivor is dope.
I love it. I think it's like it's the best reality show that's ever been created. And
dude,
and so I don't know many people my age that watch it, if I'm being honest with you.
You're looking at one. You're looking at one.
Good. It's a Wednesday night staple in my house. We'll get home from church and we'll all just like sit down, and I've got like my 9-year-old and 7-year-old in on it. And so we just sit down and watch it. And so the season finale is this week. So we're excited about that tomorrow. So, dude, that's my guilty pleasure.
Survivor slapped in the mid 90s. It still slaps. Survivor is just excellent. I don't know what they did, but that little formula, just more. Give me more. Because I'll watch a bunch of old people and semi-old people and young people just lying to each other on a desert. I'll watch them lie to each other in the wilderness forever. I'll watch it.
They've got an unbeatable formula. I mean, any show that's been going on for 45 seasons, they don't just let you stay on there and suck,
Yeah, this is fine. Like it's gotta be quality, or else man, is that how many seasons they're on?
Yeah, I think this is the 45th season. They do 2 a year. Yeah, so it's great.
It can have 2 kids that can drive, basically, if it were to have kids.
Yeah, I mean, you're 10 years from Medicaid,
10 years from Medicaid.
Medicare, So,
on that note, we're gonna shout out Medicaid. Thank you for tuning in with us today. I will be back tomorrow. Uncle Buck, thank you. It was good to see you, brother. I will see you soon. Everybody have a great rest of their Tuesday. Remember to tube. And remember 2 things. If I have to leave you 2 things, be a little weird and remember to smile. I will see you all tomorrow.